We are live. Let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Mainly what happened was I was trying to move everything from I was using Podbean as my podcast server, and everybody was like, no, just go to Spotify. They'll do it for free. It frees up a little bit of money, $10 a month, but that's $120 a year. So that's a little bit of money. And they're like, just do it through Spotify and it'll be fine. And so I looked up how to merge everything over, and my podcast didn't merge correctly. And so I was just like, well, dagnubbit, okay. And so I just started a whole new podcast feed, and I just was like, you know what? Let's make it clean, rebrand it, all that fun stuff. And so from Christmas to New Year's, that week kind of leading into it, it's like, okay, well, I guess I got to come up with a whole new brand. And throughout that entire time, I also had COVID. And so it was just kind of like, I want to sleep, but I've got to get this rebrand done. And then I just never got all my old episodes uploaded because I've got my archives on a hard drive and whatnot. And so, that's been, and so just for whatever reason today, I was like, you know what? Let's start moving everything over. So.
Oh man. Well, hopefully you get into a flow and it just happens quicker than you think. I mean, that sounds terrible. I can't imagine. I know when I first released music, there was a woman named Anna Scott from Ireland, and all of my music is still tied to her, and I cannot for the life of me get every platform to listen to me long enough to take me off of her page, and it's so frustrating. So I feel your pain.
Right. And it's not hard stuff to do. It's just time consuming because under the old brand, we had 735 episodes. And so it's just kind of
a lot. And that's a lot of time that you've done, and you don't want to delete them or anything. Yeah. I mean, what if something goes wrong and then you can't get it back? Right.
And so it's just kind of even if it's something that I've got to just kind of do over the next couple of months, and it's just I do 10 episodes here, 10 episodes there, that's fine.
Slowly.
Yeah. But it's just one of those things where I need to do it because people are starting to be like, hey, which podcast feed? Because there's two,
Oh no.
So, yeah. It's one of those things.
I'm so sorry. That's such a bummer.
It's all good though. I like the new podcast feed because it's a lot cleaner. Everything's very, just clean the way I like it. So.
Yeah, at least once you do get it merged, it'll be nice because then you won't have to do as much work and everything will just be on one platform, and then you won't have to stress about the rebrand or anything. But it just, that sucks that, and especially right now, this is the time for you to just reflect on the year and get prepared for next year. And now you're stuck doing this. So that's,
Well, that part was kind of a self-inflicted wound in a lot of respects, just because I got a bug in my ear, and it was you know what? I probably need to start doing this because things are slow right now. Slow by design, but it's just one of those things where it's okay, let's do it,
Yeah, I guess it's not, it's a better time than any other time to start and do it. Just hard because, you look at it and it looks so time consuming and scary, daunting,
Yeah, absolutely. But so we're sitting here with Anna Scott. Welcome back into the podcast. I went and looked. We had you on in May, I want to say. So what song would that have been a release for?
So that would have been before.
Was that Broken?
Broken had already come out. So the 5 songs have been out this year. So Broken started, and then Change, City, Strangers, Little Red.
Nice.
So. Yeah, so it probably would have been Change going into City is last time we spoke, which is crazy.
Staying busy, which is great. I love it.
Yeah, it's been a good year.
Nice. Oh, so how's obviously staying busy? You said 5 songs. This is your 5th song, Little Red. How's kind of this momentum felt to kind of just like continually get music out and just like be really consistent with it?
It feels really good. I know when I first started releasing music, I didn't have a set, timeline. I just was trying to see what would stick. I'm doing everything independently, so I was still learning a lot. And this year I feel like I really was able to just put out a lot of music that I'm really proud of. I have a great producer and great musicians, and my writing has been really important to me over the last 2, 3 years. So I think this year has just been a culmination of all the things that I've learned through being an independent artist. And it's really exciting to look back and realize that I have had 5 songs come out this year, which is the most that I've ever released in a year. And I just hope to continue that flow. It definitely feels really good to get music out into the world.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question. Are you going to keep this momentum going? Because I know when we first met, it was towards the end of 2022. So I think you were getting maybe ready to release Time or had just released Deal. Like I'm my brain
Yeah.
brain's a
So
little
I had
foggy. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it was Time and Deal that were just about to be released, and that
Hmm.
was in 2023. And then I took kind of a really long break and just was like reassessing what my sound to be and my music and finding the right people to just make everything work. And it was my first experience recording in Nashville when we first met. So
Hmm.
it's crazy to like have seen kind of the span of time that's gone by, and all the songs that I've released and written, and just kind of like where I came from, because I
Hmm.
know like when we first spoke, I was just starting and I was just trying to figure everything out. I'd released music back in 2020, but it was like kind of sporadic, and now I just feel like I'm really in a flow. It feels really good.
Nice. So you've kind of took that year or so to really figure out what kind of musician you wanted to be.
Yeah, I think I had started releasing right when COVID hit, and that
Hmm.
was kind of my kicker to just, finally put out the music that I'd been writing and show people who I am as an artist, because I hadn't shown that side. I've always sang, I've always played guitar and performed for people, but the writer side of me, the artist side of me was never really shown. So when COVID first hit, I decided to just start releasing music as much as possible. So I released a bunch of songs, and then I kind of took a step back. I was going to college, and so I finished out my last year of college and was just trying to figure out like what my plan was as far as like where I wanted my sound to go. And I think now I've really found that, vocally intensive sound that I've been reaching for in my writing, and just sonically, I think I'm really getting to a place that I'm really proud of. And I'm proud of all of my music, but I think it's becoming more of like a brand for me. And as an artist, you have to kind of be your own brand. So
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot about myself and about my music, but I took that break to just kind of reassess, and I think this year was like my comeback year. That's what I keep saying, is it was my comeback year of just releasing all my music that I've been working on, and just kind of,
Yeah.
telling people that I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
Nice. That's really cool. I like the way you kind of phrase it as a comeback year because I feel like that's accurate for a lot of creatives in general. Like 2022 kind of felt like that year of, okay, we had 2 years of not being able to do anything. So let's get caught up. Like 2022 was like that catch up year. And then 2023 just kind of felt like, okay, we're going to continue to do things, but we got to try and figure out like where we're going because we spent all of the previous year like releasing stuff that we'd stockpiled for 2 years essentially.
Yeah.
So and
And there
then
was no performances. I mean, COVID kind of shut down everything, so it really became great for social media and
mhm,
just, media in general. I think it was great for that. But then, the music industry has so many layers, and I think creatives have ebbs and flows in their career in general. So especially with those few years of just crazy times, I think just switching focus has been like a major thing for a lot of us. Definitely
Yeah.
for me, switching focus from writing to releasing to performing live to social media to, all the things.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. But obviously, like we'd mentioned, 2024 was your comeback year, and you just released Little Red. Let's go ahead and jump into that a little bit. What's the story behind Little Red?
Yeah, so Little Red is based off of the fairy tale of Little Red Riding Hood, and I was just really inspired by Little Red in general, and I just that character of somebody that is being faced with some people that maybe aren't the best for her. So in my situation, I associated Little Red with a girl who is going through a situation, whether it's a breakup or if it's a toxic work coworker or toxic just person in their life, or just being taken advantage of in many ways, and mentally, and even things worse than that. I mean, I hope that no one has to relate to the song in that way, but I think it can speak for a lot of people that just feel like they're not being heard. And I think in general, anybody, girl or guy, that is not feeling like they're being heard, I think Little Red is the character that you can step into and just say, these wolves aren't going to take advantage of me anymore. And I know grandma is going to tell me to be nice to everybody, and people are going to tell me to be nice. But, sometimes you got to stick up for yourself and you have to show people who you are. And I think for me, Little Red is kind of that character when I step on stage. I think I definitely have a character when I'm going and performing. I'm Anna Scott the musician, but I'm also Anna Scott the person. And when I jump on a stage, I need to be confident and show people my music and not be afraid of the word no, not being afraid of, people's critiques, or, not everybody's going to like your stuff. So I think Little Red for me was just that character that I needed to just step into this like confident space. And I think it can be used for anyone, whether they're in music or just in life. If they're feeling like they're not being heard, Little Red is their character they need to step into.
Nice. I dig it 100%. I'm gonna have to go back and listen. Like now hearing you kind of hearing the thought process behind it and the story behind it, I'm gonna have to go. I like to go back and re-listen to the song to see if that's what I was picking up on, or if I was picking up on something completely different. So
Yes, it's always good to hear, once the song is out, like what people really gravitate towards in the song. Like there's some lyrics I know for sure in my previous songs that I thought were really gonna hit home with people, and then it turns out to be a completely different part of the
right.
song. People are like, I just love this bridge, or I really love the what you said in this verse too. And it's like, whoa, that's the whole point of releasing music, is to have it speak to people, and sometimes it speaks to people in ways that you don't realize. And I think that's the beauty of music.
Yeah, 100%. Just kind of like the personal interpretation. I've definitely done that a few different times listening to somebody's song that was coming on the podcast. And like, I ask them the same question of like, what's the story? And they say it's about this one thing. And it's like, oh, dang, I got a completely different vibe from that. And it's been really interesting to kind of watch that unfold. So.
Yeah, because I mean, once it's out in the world, it's no longer just for me. It's no longer just for, my life and my story. It's for people to interpret the way that they want it to. So I like to leave my explanations of my songs slightly generic, just so that people can, take what they can from it. I never want to influence people in a way that um, is not where they're going.
Oh,
If it helps somebody get through a breakup, or it helps somebody to I don't know, go through grief. Like there's so many things that music can help you with. So, if it's helping people with something, I'm grateful for it. Whatever they want to take the song for, it's good
oh
for
yeah.
me.
100%. And how long has this song kind of been sitting in your back pocket? Is it a newer song, or has it been around for a little bit?
Yeah, so I wrote it this year and recorded it in the summer, and you released it, yeah, just, I mean, a little over a month ago, and it's been crazy. I mean, it hasn't sat in my repertoire for a long time, but this song was one of those songs that just kind of fell out.
Hmm.
I think personally I needed it more than I realized I did. When I wrote it, I think like when I write, sometimes I write with an idea that I've had for a while sitting in my back pocket, and other times it just kind of flows out, and then I
Yeah.
realize later, oh wow, I really did need that message. And I think this is one of those songs that just, it came out, and I think it came out in the room too, in the studio. It just felt really authentic and beautiful. And I just remember, sitting in the studio playing on my demo, and then getting the musicians to just go in and start playing, and just feeling that sense of like, wow, my vision is actually coming to life. And this song for sure, I can picture a music video in my head. So
Nice.
maybe one day there will be some kind of visualizer or music video for the song, because I can feel it in my bones of what it would look like, all the way down to like the colors and everything. This song is very visual for me. And so this year has been cool trying to, take it from writing it in my apartment in Nashville to releasing it, and now having people enjoy it, and it's been on the radio, and it's just been really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I can tell that you have, like, even before we had this conversation, I could tell you had a lot of passion behind it, because I saw you released merch behind this song, didn't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Uh,
I'm actually doing a holiday promo for my merch right now, but I just got shirts for Little Red, and they have a wolf on them, and they're super cute. And I had my brother model for them, so you could see that, they aren't just for girls like me. They can
yeah.
be on guys and look super cute. So yeah,
Nice.
they're really, really, they turned out good.
Cool. I saw that and I was like, she's got a lot of faith in the song, and I love that. I just love the confidence.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think the song is authentic to my voice. I grew up kind of influenced by like rock and
Mm,
blues music,
yeah.
living in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
So I think that really comes through in the song, and it still has that rock and country feel that absolutely love. I mean, I'm really inspired by Chris Stapleton and Miranda Lambert, and just that drive behind their music. Like they're country musicians, but you're gonna have a good time when you go to their shows. And I think
Yeah.
Little Red emulates that a lot for
Oh,
me.
yeah. Nice. Now, were you a little hesitant to release Little Red in November, being like butted right up against the holidays, or was it always like, okay, I want to get one more song out this year, and it doesn't really matter when?
Yeah, I mean, it was always in the plan to release in
Mm,
November. I think when I had released it, I definitely like have Christmas on the brain. Of
yeah.
course, I think right now everybody's got Christmas fever. Very excited for the holiday season, but I think I mean, ended up working out with the way that it released,
Hmm.
and all my songs just kind of spaced out the way that they needed to this year. I think when I sat down in January when I was about to release Broken, I knew that this year was going to be the year I was going to release music, and Little Red hadn't even come into the picture.
Yeah.
So I think around the summertime when I went and recorded it, I just knew that it was something that I was itching to get out. So
Nice.
I wanted it out as quick as possible, because it was fun for me, and all the shoots were so much fun to do. And just I bought a cape on Amazon, and took a bunch of pictures in the woods, and it was just so much fun.
Amazon's the best. I love it. Just the randomness you can find on there.
Absolutely.
The randomness
Yeah.
is the best. So kind of looking forward, obviously we're coming up on the end of 2024, which has been a really good year for you. What's the schedule looking like for 2025, or have you not thought quite that far ahead yet?
Yes. Oh no, we've been planning. We're a planner for sure. Oh my gosh. I definitely have new music coming out. I'm going to be recording in the beginning of the year, and I've got some new songs. I've been co-writing a lot, which for people that have been following my music for a while, I have only ever released music that I've written by myself.
Hmm.
So it's really exciting. I've been co-writing with a lot of really awesome people in and out of Nashville, and traveling a lot. So definitely looking to release some more music, maybe releasing music with co-writers, which is going to be really exciting. And I definitely have been playing a ton this year, but I'm definitely looking to do some full band original music showcases in and around the Tennessee area, in Ohio, and just getting myself out there in that way as well. I think I my songs they're ready to go, and I'm ready to go. I'm itching to get out on the road and to, play for people and just show them my music because I've just been really excited about it this year. And I think that next year, if I keep up this momentum, I think that, things are gonna go well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my plan is just to continue releasing music, maybe five, six, seven songs next year. I'm not sure about a full project yet,
Yes.
but as of right now, yeah, more music, more shows. I'm not stopping.
Nice. I love it. Because it's one of those things where it's like I feel like a lot of musicians tend to release a song and then just rest on that song way too long almost, and
Yeah.
then just kind of seeing this renewed, like, okay, it seems unfair to Little Red to already be thinking about what's next, but
Poor
it's
little rat.
it's one of those things where it's like you kind of have to. If you're not already two or three steps ahead, Little Red's gonna, just kind of be there, So I don't know.
Yeah, and I want people to have, that same excitement. I think that when I was releasing this year, like people were getting excited. I was playing some of my unreleased songs at shows, and I was getting people, anticipated for the releases to come.
Yeah.
So I definitely like want to keep putting out music. That's my goal is to just continue being a writer and an artist and putting out those songs. But
Yeah.
I also firmly believe that it's never too late to give some songs some love. So I have even been, you know, doing some things with my songs that I released back in 2020 because I think that, just because a song is out doesn't mean that you know, it shouldn't be showcased. And especially with the way that social media is going, my social media accounts have grown a lot and I've gained a lot of new followers from different places that might not necessarily know that I had music out originally. So I'm really, just trying to give some love to all my babies. There are my babies that I have into the world. And so you can't pick a favorite kid, I can't pick a favorite song,
Right.
and I have to make sure that I'm still giving love and attention to those songs and sending them out to people that need them because I think I have a good mix of songs that are used for different occasions where when you want to cry, when you want to laugh, when you want to, go send it to your best friend, when you want to send it to your ex. Like I have a lot of songs like that and I think, they each need their space to be shown to the people that need them the most.
100%. 100%. I agree. So, where are you kind of at show wise right now? Are you kind of winding down shows for right now, or what are you kind of doing in that aspect of things?
Yeah, so I've been playing a lot. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break around Christmas. My birthday is very close to Christmas, so I take a little bit of a breather and just go and celebrate at home with my family since the holiday season is happening. So that's really nice that I get that little bit of a break, but I am definitely looking to do some more shows. I've got a bunch scheduled for January and February already, so and I'm playing New Year's Eve in Nashville, and Nashville is crazy when it comes to New Year's Eve. So we have a big bash downtown, and I'm playing downtown that morning. So
Nice.
I'm excited. I'm going back to Ohio to spend a few days with my family, but when I come back, we're hitting the ground running. So
Nice.
I definitely have some more live shows planned and some full band shows.
Nice. That's really cool. I love that so much. That's
Yeah.
going back home to Cleveland and right. Are you from like Cleveland proper, or are you from like a one of the suburbs around Cleveland?
I'm from a suburb like 10 minutes from
Okay.
downtown Cleveland.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So yeah, very close to the airport and downtown and the
Yeah.
flats.
I have to ask because people get mad when I say I'm from Chicago and they find out I'm from like 30 minutes south. And it's like, yeah, but if I tell them where Lansing, Illinois is, then they have no clue where I live. If I say Chicago, they know where I live, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to say that at first, and then
Yeah.
I find that at gigs sometimes
Yeah.
because, in Nashville, there's 99% of the people that come in the bar are not from Nashville. So I always ask, where are you from? And if they say Cleveland, I also say Cleveland, and then we find out where we're from. But, some people, I don't think that they should get mad at you for saying Chicago. I mean,
Yeah.
that's your city. It's your You're a suburb associated with Chicago.
Yes. I remember the first time I had that experience. I was living out in New Mexico, and I had to go to a Habitat for Humanity, like they were christening the house or the house was like opening or something. So I had to go be there. And I was walking back to my car, and I saw a lady had a whole bunch of Chicago Bears, Cubs, white, just like all this stuff all over her car. And I was like, excuse me, ma'am, are you from Chicago? And she's like, yep, I grew up on 88th Street or what, like whatever it was. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm from Chicago too. And she's like, oh, where from? And I told her, and she's like, oh, you're not really from Chicago. You're from the area. And I'm like, you,
That's mean.
I was trying
She
to
should have
have,
been grateful she had someone.
right? I was trying to find a common thread, and then she just poo-pooed all over it. So,
Yeah, we don't like people like that.
yeah.
If someone says they're from Cleveland and they're a little farther out from Cleveland than me, I get excited because they know Cleveland, and we can
Hmm.
talk about the Browns.
Hmm.
We could talk about even Ohio. Like you could talk about stuff in Illinois. That's
Yeah,
that's a common thread that ah,
it
people
happens.
are. Yeah,
It's one of those things where it's like, I'm over it. I just tell them Chicago, and if they get mad,
so be it.
right,
Let them be mad. Let them
right,
be
right,
mad that you live in an area very close to Chicago.
right. So, kind of looking forward. Are you going to be at CRS this year or next? I guess technically next year.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one of my major goals is to play at CRS, and CMA Fest. I have some definite like exciting goals for next year.
Hmm.
To play some festivals and to really put myself in that space. So ultimately, one day I would love to actually play at CRS. But if not, I definitely am going to have to check it out this year.
Okay.
It was my first internship in Nashville when I was in college was CRS. So
Guys.
I got to go behind the scenes, and it's truly an amazing event. So
Yeah.
anyone that's like into country music or radio or just music in general in Nashville is it's insane. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
you can attest to it.
oh
It's
yeah,
insane.
for sure. It's one of those things where it's like, we'll definitely have to try and link up during all that stuff because I'm trying to make it. I've kind of subsided to the fact that maybe I don't want to move to Nashville as much as I used to, but being there a few times a year sounds like the perfect like happy medium because anytime I talk about moving to Nashville, then I start talking to people that it's like, oh, hey, then we could like actually hang out and like, not do this. And they're like, well, I'm not in Nashville all that much. And it's like, okay, well, then I'm going to just stay where I'm at and just we'll hang out when we're in town. So,
Yeah. Yeah, Nashville's weird because I think a lot of people that live here tend to go out for touring
mm,
and they travel a lot. So,
mm,
a lot of the people that are here aren't really from Nashville. So if you can get here and, go to the events like
right,
CRS or CMA Fest, like those are really where I mean those are the best times of the year
oh,
to
yeah.
come.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're definitely like if you're able to come for those times, then you've got the happy medium for sure.
Right. For me, it's like if I can come during CRS, CMA Fest, maybe Americana Fest, but Americana Fest seems like it's a little bit different than the rest of them. But, like I figure about 3 times a year is probably about a good happy medium if I'm there for about a week, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're here for a week, I mean, you can get a lot done in a week in
Oh, yeah.
Nashville.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. But I don't want to keep you here too much longer. So, um, kind of looking forward, obviously, you mentioned new music coming in 2025, and then you got your New Year's. Where are you playing at on New Year's Eve?
I'll be at Friends in Low Places.
Nice.
I will be
Awesome.
playing, yep. So 12 to 3, I'll be at Friends in Low Places, and it's just kicking off the New Year's. So everybody's going to be downtown getting ready for the ball drop and getting ready for Nashville's Big Bash. So I'm
Nice.
excited.
Awesome. I've started watching Nashville's New Year's Eve show. Like I watched it last year and I was like, you know what? We're going to continue to watch it because I think it's a little bit more interesting than the New York one. So,
It's cool, and a lot of it is like live, but then there's also a lot of stuff that's pre-taped. Like last year, I got to see Hardy and John Party, and
Nice.
it was in October. So
Nice.
I was able to go to that. And then on New Year's, I could actually play a gig and, also be on the show, which is
Right.
cool. So I got to look at the TV while I was playing and see myself on TV because it wasn't, in live
Yeah.
time. But the
Yeah.
Big Bash is insane. It's really cool. And I mean, I think that the whole production itself is insane. So yeah, if anyone hasn't listened to any of the previews for Nashville's New Year's Eve Big Bash, you definitely should take a watch.
100%. I agree. Um, and then if anybody wants to check out your music, social media, all that fun stuff, where's the best place to find you?
Yes, so my website is annascottmusic.com, and you can find all my socials on there, all my music. And then if you look on any social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok, anywhere that you have social media, if you look up Anna Scott Music, you'll most likely find me. And then Anna Scott Music on Spotify and
Nice.
Apple Music and wherever you listen to your music.
You are the first person that purposely tried to call it X.
I caught myself.
Yes. It's one of those things
Before I
where
said it. Yep.
a lot of people will pull the Twitter X move, and it's like, okay, I get it. But like, I mean, to anybody that's anybody, it's like, it's Twitter. It'll always be Twitter. Like,
Yep.
so.
Yeah, I will admit I think Twitter is my least populated social media account, and I think it's because it just keeps changing. And so I use Threads more than I do. I'm a Threads girl. I might be the only one, but I love Threads, so I use Threads more often.
Thre-
I just
Thread-
think it's user friendly.
Right. Threads is interesting because it's more based on like what you're talking about and not so much like the hashtags you use, which has been a really interesting kind of twist to get around.
Yeah, because you can only use one hashtag, so
Yeah.
you gotta really make sure it's a good one.
Right.
Because you can only pick. I'm the one that'll put like 20,000 hashtags on my posts, so it's definitely made me kind of separate my thoughts and pick the right hashtag. But yeah, Threads is I'm on Threads.
Nice. Awesome. But once again, I appreciate you so much for joining us. I'm sorry we rescheduled this one a couple different times, but I'm
No
glad we got a
worries.
chance.
I'm
Good.
glad you're feeling better, and I always love talking to you, and it's cool to catch up every few months and just see like where we both are headed. I just think this year has been really good for us, and
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to share more stuff with you in the new year.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely talk offline about some stuff. We just got back from Tucson and did some really cool stuff out there. So
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
See, traveling is so fun.
it is, it really is. But once again, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will see you all later. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Live and Amplified's Indie Fusion podcast. If you'd like to support anything Live and Amplified does, please follow us on all of our social media platforms at Live, the letter N, Amplified. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, any of them, all of them, at Live, the letter N, Amplified. And if you would like to buy any official Live and Amplified merch, you can do so at our merch shop, link in the description below. Once again, thank you all. Have a great day.